Hello, I'm Donghyun, and today I'll introduce about influence of Chinese cuisine in Asia. Ramen in Japan, Jajangmyeon in Korea, Pad Thai in Thailand. They are the national soul foods of their respective countries. But what if I told you that they all share the same DNA? They all trace their roots back to Chinese cuisine. Today, we are tracing the great culinary migration. For centuries, waves of Chinese immigrants, merchants, laborers, and refugees traveled across Asia. They didn't just bring their luggage, they brought woks, their noodles, and their recipes. But here's a twist. This isn't a story about Chinese food taking over. It's a story about adaptation. It's about how local cultures took a foreign blueprint and rebuilt it into something entirely their own. Let's travel back in time to see how the Chinese noodle became the national dish of Asia. Our first stop is South Korea. If you visit Korea, you have to try Jajangmyeon. It's a bowl of thick noodles smothered in a pitch black savory sauce. It's so beloved that there is even a holiday for single people to eat it. After the Korea opened the ports to foreign countries in late 19th centuries, Chinese laborers known as coolies entered the Incheon, one of the three ports that opened. Most of them are from Shandong province of China. They ate salty noodle dish called Jajangmyeon for quick energy. Jajangmyeon, or in Korean pronunciation, Jajangmyeon, was a dish originally eaten in Shandong province and Beijing, where it involved stir-frying soybean paste called tianmianjang and serving it over noodles. Jajangmyeon originated as a dish among coolies and gradually became known to Korean in the 1910s. A shop called Gonghwachun, which opened in Incheon, began selling it under the name Jajangmyeon, a pronunciation easier for Koreans to adopt rather than Jakjangmyeon, the original pronunciation. But still, Jajangmyeon was different dishes that we known in nowadays Korea. So how did it become Korean jajangmyeon and Chinese jajangmyeon or jakjangmyeon distinguished? The secret ingredient is caramel. In the 1950s, post-war Korea was rebuilding. A Chinese Korean businessman developed the now famous black bean sauce by adding caramel coloring to the existing brown colored tianmianjang, which I referred before. Why? Suit the Korean palate, which craved something sweeter and richer than the solely Chinese original. With the post-war US government support for flour, the Korean government actively promoted noodle dishes, and as a result, jajangmyeon spread nationwide. The modification made by the Chinese community to suit Korean taste involved not only the bean paste, but also adding starch solutions to the sauce, increasing its moisture and sweetness, transforming it into the form we know today. An interesting fact point is that while jajangmyeon is perceived as Chinese food in Korea, it is effectively recognized as Korean food in other countries. Next, we across the sea to Japan. Ramen is practically a religion here. But did you know the word ramen comes from the Chinese word Lamian, meaning hand-pulled noodles? Initially called Nankin soba or China soba, which means Chinese soba, it arrived in Yokohama's Chinatown in the early 20th century. Nankin soba offered a fresh taste to Japanese diners because unlike traditional Japanese noodles dishes like udon or soba, which used only soy sauce in their broth, Nankin soba incorporated chicken broth alongside soy sauce. It is said that shop called Rai Rai Ken in Asakusa, Tokyo, first commercialized and sold this, which became the prototype for modern shoyu ramen. Real explosion happened after World War II. Japan was devastated and rice was scarce, but thanks to US aid, as Korea did, wheat flour was available. Also, alongside yatai, Japan's street food stalls, ramen spread nationwide as a commoner's food. While in 1948, the first instant cup noodles were developed, which was the name of chicken ramen, solidifying the name ramen. While the Chinese focused on the noodle texture and stir frying, the Japanese became obsessed with the broth. They spent days boiling pork bones, chicken, and dried seafood. They also developed regional styles: miso in Sapporo, tonkotsu in Hakata, shoyu in Tokyo, and shio in Hakodate. Miso means soy paste, tonkotsu means pork broth, shio means salt, and shoyu means soy sauce. Like Korea's Jajangmyeon, ramen can be found in Chinese restaurants in Japan, but globally it is recognized as Japanese cuisine. Now let's head to south to Thailand, the land of street food. Southeast Asia has been a significant influx of ethnic Chinese over many years, and Thailand has been one of the countries with a particularly high proportion of ethnic Chinese. Chinese immigrants who settled in Chinese Southeast Asia brought the wok with them, and the wok is an essential cooking utensil in Chinese cuisine. The Chinese culture of wok cooking flowed into Thailand, introducing dishes like kueh to pat, a stir-fried rice noodle. Here is a shocking fact. Pad Thai isn't an ancient traditional dish of Thailand. It was actually invented in the 1930s by the Thai government. Prime Minister Plek Phibun Songkram wanted to modernize the country and build a strong sense of nationalism. He wanted a national dish to reduce rice consumption and promote noodles. They took the Kuei Tao, but to strip away the Chinese identity. They flooded it with aggressive local flavors: tamarind for sourness, fish sauce for saltiness, and palm sugar for sweetness, instead of oyster sauce, which represent Chinese cuisine. They literally named it Pad Thai, which means Thai stir fry. It's a Chinese noodle that was forced to become Thai through the politics and flavor. Finally, let's explore Peranakan cuisine. We arrive in the Strait of Malacca, which is located in between Malaysia and Singapore. Here, we find the most beautiful example of cultural fusion, Peranakan cuisine. Centuries ago, Chinese male immigrants settled here and married local Malay or Indonesian women. Their descendants created a culture that wasn't just Chinese and wasn't just Malay. It was a true hybrid. We call such culture Peranakan. The crown jewel of this union is laksa. Look at this bowl. The noodles, Chinese origin. The soup, pure Southeast Asia. They took the Chinese noodle soup with some ingredients originating from Chinese like fried tofu, fishbowl, and meat broth, and infused it with the local soul, coconut milk, lemongrass, and pepper such as galanga and spicy sambal chili. Besides laksa, other famous Peranakan dishes include chili crab, bak kut teh, and Hainan chicken rice. Unlike the adaptation in Korea or the invention in Thailand, this was marriage. It represents how two distinct cultures can come together to create something richer than the sum of their parts. Here's the conclusion. The four dishes introduced so far all share the common origin of being derived from Chinese immigrants and subsequently localized. However, their forms differed slightly. In Korea and Japan, they naturally adapted and evolved to suit local tastes, but in Thailand, they were forced to as Chinese Thailand-like and entirely new foods. Peranakan cuisine can be described through the keyword of fusion. Thanks for watching and stay hungry.